What up, guys? It's your man Elite, and welcome back to the Elite channel. Guess what? Ime Udoka and Nia Long are done, finished, kaput, over, finito. The first thing I have to say about this is, what took so long, Ime? And I have a lot more to say. But first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the Elite channel. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Everybody hit that reminder bell so you know when I drop a new video. And go ahead and hit that like button. It helps the video out in the YouTube algorithm. And one more thing, guys. If you would like to support the channel or support the content, go ahead and bless that CashApp. The tag for CashApp is in the description and on the screen right here. And now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get it. This is an article from a few days ago from People magazine online.
Nia Long and Ime Udoka break up after 13 years together, following the NBA coach's alleged affair. A rep for Long confirms to People that the engaged couple are no longer together, but remain fully committed to co-parenting their son Kaz. Nia Long and Ime Udoka are going their separate ways. A source exclusively confirms to People that Long, 51, and Udoka, 45, have ended their 13-year relationship after the former Boston Celtics head coach allegedly had an affair with a female subordinate within the team's organization.
Now that's the first thing I have a problem with right there, guys. Listen at how they're phrasing this. They're calling this an affair. You know, this is not an affair. An affair is when you live together or you're married and living together and the other person steps out on you and sees someone else. That's an affair. When you live in two separate whole cities and you're doing your thing and that person's doing their thing, that's not an affair. Nia Long has always lived in Los Angeles. Ime Udoka has always lived in whatever city he's playing for or coaching for, whatever city that team is in. They have a son together, yes, but this is not an affair. This is not technically an affair. That's you doing your thing and me doing my thing. And I think they're purposely phrasing it like this in order to make Ime look bad. Now, the second thing I have a problem with is, as you'll see later on in this article, it's always been Nia who's been adamant that she does not want to get married and be in one household. And as far as I'm concerned, you get what you get. You have no sympathy for me. You get what you get, and it is what it is. You feel me? Now, most recently, Ime Udoka has lived in Boston while he's coached the Boston Celtics, of course. And from Los Angeles to Boston is about 3,500 miles. I mean, come on, who are we kidding here? You're not seeing this man and you're not fulfilling his needs for days, for weeks, or even months on end. What do you expect him to do? Just sit there and just twiddle his thumbs? But see, this is the gynocentric culture that we live in 2022, where women get to have everything they want, they get to do whatever they want, they get to have it both ways. Meanwhile, everything a man does is supposed to be considered to be wrong. Well, we don't rock like that over here on my channel. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. Out of all the many, many women I've dealt with in my whole life, I've never engaged in a long-distance relationship. And I never would and never will, because I believe it's just retarded to do that. If, as a woman, you choose to be thousands of miles away from the man you supposedly love for days, weeks, or months on end, then he has not cheated on you and it's not an affair. It just is what it is. So knock off the nonsense. Anyway, back to the article.
The situation is unfortunate and painful, but Nia is focusing on her children and rebuilding her life, the source says. Long and Udoka had been engaged since 2015, and share one child together, 11-year-old son Kaz. The actress and the former head coach first met in February 2010, when Udoka was a professional basketball player with the Sacramento Kings. Long was in Boston filming a pilot for NBC. Udoka was playing against the Boston Celtics and a mutual friend set them up, according to the Boston Globe.
Did you guys hear that? She said that it's unfortunate and painful. To me, it doesn't sound like she was really all that hurt over this, to tell you the truth. And I'm not saying that Nia is sitting here doing fake outrage. What I'm saying is all these other people online who are looking at the situation and trying to fight on her behalf and argue on her behalf are taking this thing way too seriously. Because that sounds to me like somebody who knows what the deal is. It's just unfortunate and painful, and we're going to keep on pushing on, and that's just the way it is. We're going to raise our son. She's living in reality, it sounds like. Because when she met him, he was already a successful basketball player. He was a multimillionaire. And I'm sure she knew at the time that athletes have groupies. And so she's just facing reality. It is what it is. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it just sounds like a woman who's facing reality, but she knows what she stepped into. I mean, look, you met the man. He's extremely tall. He's not a bad looking guy. He had millions of dollars. And she knew that he had a ton of women that he had dealt with before and probably during her. So she's just facing reality as she should. Because, I mean, who are you? You think you're going to change him just by walking into his life? No. And you shouldn't be able to change him just by walking into his life. But see, this is the overinflated ego that most women have. It amazes me how many women think that they're just going to come into a man's life and change his whole world around and change who he is just by virtue of who they are, what kind of demands they think they're going to make of you, and what kind of spell or witchcraft they think they're going to put on you in order to change you. But no, honey, it don't work like that. And I tell you guys all the time that I have dealt with hundreds of women in my life, literally hundreds, and I've had many, many of them think that they're going to change me. And they find out quickly that that's not going to happen. And it seems like that's the space that Nia is in. She has realized that that's not going to happen. And the other part of this is that it's not like he didn't want to partner with her and be married to her. It's her who decided not to be a full-time partner to him, not to live in the same house with him, and not to be a wife to him. And it's because of whatever issues she's dealing with around marriage. Internal issues, personal issues that have nothing to do with him, as you will see in the rest of this article.
In June 2011, Long and Udoka exclusively revealed to people that they were expecting their first child together. Long was already a mom to son Musai from a previous relationship, but the new addition was Udoka's first child. Their son Kes was later born on November 7, 2011. During their relationship, Long was adamant how marriage is not a priority for her, telling Essence, in their August 2012 issue, she had never seen a marriage work, and that marriage didn't define a successful relationship for her and Udoka. I don't feel less loved or less loving because I'm not married, she said at the time. I worked hard to have the career I wanted, but I've also been deliberate about my personal life. None of this is a mistake. Despite that, Udoka and Long got engaged in May 2015. Still, the pair had no plans to rush down the aisle, with Long telling a TMZ Sports reporter the following June that they were taking their time with wedding planning. She shared similar sentiments in December 2020 on Essence's Yes Girl podcast, revealing that they didn't need the labels of husband and wife to know that they're in a partnership. Long added, "Love is complicated, and then you start a marriage, which I've never been married, and there's a reason for that, because I don't know that I need to say, I do, to prove to you that I love you. But also, what does marriage really mean? That you own me now and I own you? I don't get that part."
So yeah, she has serious issues with marriage. And I'm not downing her for it. It's all good. In fact, I have issues with marriage and close relationships with women. So here are actual pictures of Leilani, Kim, Brittany, Veronica, Patty, and Tolise. These are all women who thought they could change me into a marriage mindset and giving them a serious relationship, and they found out eventually that they couldn't. And there are many, many more. I just can't go into all of them right here and right now. But the one thing I've never done is make any of these women think that I can give them something that they want when I can't. I've always had an insatiable desire for women. No one woman has ever been enough for me, And a lot of guys are like that. I've always been a man who's lived in his truth. I'm just gonna live who I am with no apologies and no filter. And if people want to accept that, that's fine. And that's what you should do, guys. Just be who you are. And if a woman wants to deal with that, she can. And if she doesn't want to deal with it, she can opt out, right? And while we're on the subject, I've never understood in the first place why a man who's above average looking and extremely tall and has money and resources would ever need to marry a woman anyway. If you're a man in that circumstance, a high value man, quote unquote, as they say, you don't need a woman. The only two things you need a woman for are one, if you want to have a child or procreate, and number two, to have sexual access, to have bedroom fun. And you can have bedroom fun with multiple women if you're that type of man. And everything else, you can just hire somebody to do it. If you need somebody to clean your house, you can hire a maid. If you need somebody to cook your food, you can hire a dietitian or a chef. I mean, there's really no need to get married to a woman if you're in that position where you're a high value man. And I know some people are going to say, well, what if you want peace and you want a stable household and all that? Most women are far more chaotic and cause way more problems than you would have on your own. And that's just facts. Not to mention that there's way too much that you can lose if something goes wrong. So no, I've never understood why a man who has resources and is decent looking and is tall would ever want to be married to a woman in a marriage situation. I just don't get it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Nia Long is some ratchet chick from out here in the streets. I mean, she seems like a decent woman. She seems like a nice woman who has good intentions. But at the end of the day, she's just another woman. And you don't really need a serious relationship or marriage, guys. That's optional. No matter what they try to convince you of in the media and all this stuff in society, you don't need a woman in that way like that. They need you. And I'm going to wrap this video up. But I know that I'm going to have a lot of triggered, sensitive women coming for me in the comments. They always come for me in the comments. And all I can say to you triggered women that are all in your feelings coming at me in the comments is this. You can be all in your feelings and you can think that that matters, but your feelings don't trump or change the truth and facts. I've laid out a whole lot of facts in this video, and your feelings do not overrule facts. So come at me if you will, I'm ready. And one more thing to you triggered women that you should know. Most of us guys, we don't like you like that, okay? We get to know most of you women and really get to spend some real lot of time around you, and we end up not liking you. Because we know that the majority of you are not interesting, you're not funny, you don't bring any real value to the table, and you're just irritating. We don't like you like that, okay? Many of us men, we accept you and we tolerate you. But that's just so that we can get out of you the couple of little things we actually do need out of you. Well, I guess that's it for me, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But first, everybody tap that like button on this video. And if you're new and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the Elite channel. Also hit the reminder bell so you'll know when I drop a new video. Leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you would like to share this video on your social media, go right ahead. It's all good. So until next time, this is your man Elite, and I am out.